Africa or across the enchanting, beautiful waters of the South China Sea. And if you're listening to tracks from any one of the 24 time zones worldwide using the RTM Click application, I bid you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be for you. It's What Matters time, which is the second hour on Winning Wednesdays right here on Tracks Momentum. My name is Anil on the mic. And what matters today? So the question here is what matters today? Well, coming up very shortly in a couple of days, I assume, is the 19th Majlis Perdana Perkhidmatan. And to talk to us about this in the studios, we have the incredible privilege of hosting the head of corporate and international unit at the National Institute of Public Administration. And her name is Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar. And she's given me the privilege to refer her as Dr. Treesna. Dr. Treesna, good morning.
Good morning, Anil.
Welcome to Tracks.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure for me to be here.
Likewise.
Right. Thank you so much, TRAXXfm, for giving us this opportunity and this platform for us to share about the upcoming Majlis Perdana Perkhidmatan Awam Kesembilan, or what is known as 19th Civil Service Premier Address Gathering, or what is widely known as Mappa 2024.
Right, okay.
Right.
It's an absolute delight, likewise, as well, to have you here and for us
Thank
to learn more and find out, the pivotal sort of the pillar of all of our interview feature segments on Tracks Momentum is, apart from, the DJs here having the opportunity to have conversations with great people like you,
Thank you so much.
is the fact that, we also get to inform everyone out there, our listeners, of what's going on in the country.
True.
Right? And in this case, it's about this 19th
Mappa.
event, Mappa,
Yeah.
on the public service. So perhaps you can tell us first about the organization that you're representing, Intan. Yeah.
Thank you, Anil. So Intan is no stranger to the civil servants, among the civil servants. However, for the general public that might not know what Intan is actually the training arm for the Public Service Department or Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam JPA Malaysia, to ensure significant capacity development of our public service officer to complement the country's growth and development aspirations, and to ensure that they have the right competencies to undertake national mission of the government. And Intan began in 1959, which makes us 65 years young this year. And our HQ or headquarters is located in Bukit Kiara, Mont Kiara, Kuala Lumpur. And in addition, we also have 5 other regional campuses throughout Malaysia that are located in strategic areas, so that we are able to cater to the training and development needs of our civil servants, not just in Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya, but also around Malaysia. So among our regional campuses includes the one that is serving for the civil servants in the southern area. It is called ICWAS. Then we have in the northern region, we have Intura. East Coast region, we have what is known as Intim. So these 3 are the regional campuses that are located in Peninsular Malaysia. But we also have one regional campus that is located in Sabah, Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, which is called the In Sabah. And in Sara, that is located in Kota Samarahan, to cater the training and development needs of our civil servants in Sarawak. And Intan's main function is to equip civil servants with the right attitudes, skills and knowledge, and further strengthen their competencies and intellectual capabilities to drive the holistic development of our public service delivery. And we do all this through our 5 core functions, namely training. So training includes courses, seminars, workshops, conferences, to cultivate the attitudes, skills and knowledge of our civil servants. And our core function also include assessment, whereby once we have implemented all these training modules upon our civil servants, we then evaluate them to ensure that they have indeed benefited from the programs that we have implemented. But assessment also ensures that we could identify any gaps in terms of their training needs, and we then choose trainings that could fill up the gap to further enhance their competencies. By doing so, we are able to continuously improve our civil service delivery, basically.
Right.
Other than that, we also have research function, consultancy, and also publishing. Being a training institute, we have our journals,
Great.
and we produce and publish our own documents and books, and we write articles as well throughout the year.
So it's good to know that we have an organization or an agency or an entity that is working towards enhancing or elevating the standards of our public service employees, be it those in the front line, be it those sitting at the very top, people who are working towards
Correct.
thinking of strategizing ways to enhance, the various public service sectors that there are: healthcare, education, economics, public transport infrastructure, and so on.
Right.
And which leads me to the next thing, which is Mappa.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it's the 19th edition of this. So tell us more about that.
So certainly, Anil. So Mappa, or the Civil Service Premier Address Gathering, serves as a crucial platform where the Prime Minister himself engages directly with the civil servants from various levels of government, be it from the federal government, state government, local government, and even GLCs. And imparts its vision and mandate, setting the tone for the public service to foster a sense of unity among our the public servants and shared purpose across the public sector spectrum. And Mappa has a rich history dating back to its inception in the year 2000. And this year marks its 19th iteration, like what you mentioned, a testament to its enduring significance. And being held for over 2 decades now, Mappa has become a cornerstone event in our civil service calendar. And this year, Mappa will be held on the 16th of August. I'm not sure whether you mentioned it before or not. So it's
No, I
in
didn't.
another 2 days' time on Friday at PICC Putrajaya. It will officially start at 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. officially. However, we anticipate the attendees to start coming over and start arriving at PICC as early as 7:30 a.m. on Friday. And Mappa can also be viewed live on RTM Channel 1 and also via Facebooks of JPM, JPA, and Intan as well.
Right.
Anil.
Okay. Thank you very much for those very comprehensive information. Today on What Matters, I'm speaking to Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar. She's the head of corporate and international unit at the National Institute of Public Administration. It's What Matters. We're speaking about the 19th Mappa celebrations. Don't go anywhere. We'll jump in for a quick break with a song that has been requested by Dr. herself. It's called Love on the Brain by Rihanna. So let's dance to it until we come back. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
on Trax Momentum on TRAXXfm, a show that's powered by all of you, our amazing listeners. I'm your host, Anil on the mic. And today, in the studios, Anil on the mic is not alone. I'm joined by Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar. She's the head of Corporate and International Unit of the National Institute of Public Administration, an institute at the helm of raising the standards of men and women that serve our public administration. And to know that this time around it'll be the 19th edition of the Civil Service Premier Address Gathering, where our dearest Prime Minister will be addressing the nation as well as the public service. And Dr. Treesna is here in the studios to talk to us more about that. Dr. Treesna, welcome back to What Matters.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you. My pleasure.
Now, we know it's an important platform you mentioned earlier on in the break for a Prime Minister to engage with civil servants, but maybe you can share with us a little bit of what the objectives are in terms of organizing Mappa.
Right. So the objectives of Mappa are multifaceted and of paramount importance. Primarily, as I mentioned, it provides the platform for the Prime Minister to elucidate his Malaysia Madani vision, especially directly to the civil service. And it ensures that the public servants are well informed of the right and top priority of the current leadership in the country, particularly also in addressing the evolving expectation of the Malaysian citizens when it comes to public service delivery. And moreover, Mappa also serve as a motivational tool to all our dedicated civil servants out there, especially after, when they listen directly to the Prime Minister with regard to his Malaysia Madani vision. So that is a motivational factor for all civil servants, I'm sure. And it also plays a crucial role in strengthening the synergy and symbiotic between the administration and the civil service. And this symbiotic relationship could be reflected by the fact that it is not just going to be attended by the Prime Minister, but also majority of the cabinet ministers are going to be there as well, together with the leadership of the civil service, including the Chief Secretary of the Government, KSN, the Director General of Public Service, KPPA, as well as all the Secretary Generals and Director Generals of ministries and agencies in Malaysia.
So it sounds very exciting, and I think it'll be a good boost for our men and women in the public service to see the senior leadership leading the country, our Prime Minister led by his team of cabinet ministers as well, sitting up on stage, addressing all of them. What's the theme for Mappa this year?
So I'm pleased to share with you, Anil, and the listeners out there, the theme for this year's Mappa is Perkhidmatan Awam Madani, which translates into Madani Civil Service. And this theme is both timely and profound, if you ask me, because it aligns the civil service with the Madani concept, which we all know a cornerstone of the current administration vision. And Madani we all know, it encapsulates the principles of sustainability, of care and compassion, of respect, innovation, prosperity, and trust. And this theme signifies a concerted effort to ensure that these values, the script values in Madani, get to be infused into the very fabric of the Malaysian civil service. And it's a powerful statement about the ongoing transformation as well in the public service to ensure that the public sector better serve the nation and expectations of the citizens. And the Prime Minister's address will undoubtedly provide further insights into the practical implication of this theme, I'm sure.
And what's unique about Mappa for this year?
So this year's Mappa is particularly exciting. For start, even before Mappa, in the running towards Mappa alone, we have held the first ever Mappa Run and Jualan Rahmah, which was held on the 3rd of August, which was like about 2 weeks ago. It was the first time ever it was done. It was very well received program with the attendance of more than 5,000 participants as runners. So you could imagine during that day there were more than 5,000 people there because they were bringing family and children as well. And the program was officiated by the Datuk Sri Haji Fadilah bin Yusof, our Deputy Prime Minister too, and attended also by the leadership of the civil service. And this was the way for Intan to actually build up the momentum towards Mappa, so that the civil servants especially remember, Mappa is coming. So that's why we help.
Something they look forward to every year.
Correct,
right? And I think it must be a really good success, resounding success, seeing that it's 19th edition. It's happening on the 16th of August.
Right. So, and the D-Day Mappa promises to be noteworthy and exciting as well. The cornerstone of the program and the centerpiece of the event will always be the Prime Minister's address, and a highlight that is eagerly awaited by the civil servants. servants.
Right.
In addition, there will also be an engaging dialogue session whereby the civil servants will get to directly interact with the Prime Minister as well as the leadership of the service. And another special feature of Mappa this time around is the exhibition that we are going to also have on the 16th of August at PICC concourse level, running from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The exhibition will feature more than 30 agencies and ministries' booths showcasing the breadth and depth of public service initiatives that we have out there. And among the participating agencies includes the Royal Malaysian Police, which is offering a discount rate in terms of the payment for traffic summonses. But of course, this discount only applies at the site at PICC on the day. We also have the likes of National Registration Department or JPN, the Road Transport Department JPJ, which will not be giving any discount. Let me just highlight
just
it
about
there.
to ask you that.
Yeah, and the Public Service Department will also set up booth. Pensioners can come and renew their pension cards, for example, My Digital ID kiosks, and many others. And these comprehensive programs that we have lined up and we have done for Mappa ensures that Mappa XIX 2024 will be both informative and inspirational to all.
Yeah.
Basically, that's
I
what
know.
we
Because
look forward to.
what caught my attention, or really I am excited to watch, is that among the many things that's been lined up that you just highlighted from Mappa is the main event itself, seeing our dearest Prime Minister give his address.
Definitely,
Because,
most awaited
I
event.
think everyone can high five and attest to me that he's such a fantastic orator. And when he steps up on stage to speak, you don't feel like he's speaking to the masses. You feel like he's speaking directly to you.
Correct, you're
and
right.
he puts together this combination of words in Bahasa Malaysia that you've never heard before.
Which is good
Which
for
is good
our-
for all of us to
Yeah.
remind us that, hey, we've got to catch up, because our Prime Minister is reminding us that the
Right.
language is such a beautiful language. We'll go in for a quick break,
Definitely.
Doctor. When we come back, we'll resume with our discussion. Today, on What Matters, Anil on the mic is speaking to Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar. She's the head of Corporate and International Unit at the National Institute of Public Administration, INTAN for short, and she's today talking to us about the upcoming 19th Civil Service Premier Address Gathering. Don't go anywhere. What Matters, we'll be right back. welcome back to What Matters on Trax Momentum. TRAXXfm, the People's FM, a show that we bring you every Wednesdays from 11:15 to 11:30 to bring to your attention, or rather draw to your attention, the things that matter to you the most, our dearest, lovely Malaysians. And today, speaking to us on something that matters is Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar, the head of Corporate and International Unit at the National Institute of Public Administration, and she's today talking to us about the upcoming 19th Civil Service Premier Address Gathering, which will be taking place on August the 16th. Dr. Treesna, welcome back to What Matters.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you.
Now, in view of this event, in view of it being held for the 19th time running, we have listeners who don't comprise of the public service. We have people who are from the public service tuning into us. What's your message to them?
Well, for the public servants, especially with regard to Mappa. So, as the main organizer, we have put a lot of thought into the logistics bits of the program to ensure that the day runs smoothly on Friday, because we are expecting a large turnout, as many as 7,000 attendees to be there physically at PICC this coming Friday. So, we've made arrangements on what we feel is going to be such an exciting day for all. So, my first message, perhaps we would like to advise, like all civil servants who are coming physically, attending physically at PICC, to perhaps consider carpooling, because this will help minimize traffic congestion nearby PICC. And to those who plan to drive to PICC, please also note that the parking at PICC will only be available up to 8:30 a.m. And then we will request all of the attendees to use alternative parking locations that we have identified.
So our public servants will need to be the perfect example of everything we have been propagating for our citizens, right?
Come early, so we have
carpool.
Carpool, come early. So we have identified a few areas.
Okay.
If I may share with the listeners, Putrajaya Airstrip temporary, building zone, Jalan Precinct 5, open parking. We have Marina Putrajaya, some spots there. Car park at Harriet Ward campus, Taman Street Empangan parking lot, as well as the Putrajaya Equestrian Park. So in this context, we are also providing shuttle services on the day of the event. So this shuttle will run frequently to and from the identified parking areas to the event at PICC and back again to the parking area. So it will go non-stop until the event finishes.
Okay. And you said that you expect a turnout of 7,000 participants.
Minimum 7,000.
To the point where you've even mobilized a on-the-ground shuttle service, parking services.
We want everybody to be happy.
Everyone to be
stuck
happy.
In traffic congestion, be angry,
So speaking of everybody being happy, what do you want them to take away from attending this?
So our primary hope is that for Mappa XIX 2024 will reinvigorate our civil service. Civil servants. We want them to feel motivated once they listen to the address with a clear understanding of their role, especially in realizing the Malaysia Madani vision of the country. And it's also about, as I mentioned, strengthening this symbiotic and the synergy relationship between the administration and the civil service, especially those at the front lines of the public service, right? And ultimately improving how we as public servants improve our service delivery. Of course, Mappa is a celebration day for all civil servants. It's a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to national progress and prosperity of the country.
Right. Okay, great. Let's go in for another quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's edition of What Matters on Trax Momentum. Speaking to us today is Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar. She's the head of Corporate and International Unit at the National Institute of Public Administration, and she's today sharing with us all about the upcoming 19th Civil Service Premier Address Gathering. Keep it right here on Trax Momentum. What Matters? We'll be right back. back to What Matters on Tracks Momentum. I'm your host, Anil, on the mic. And joining me on the mic as well is our special guest in the studio. Her name is Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar. She's the head of corporate and international unit at the National Institute of Public Administration. And today, Dr. Treesna is speaking to us on What Matters, which is on Saturday, the 16th of August. The 19th Civil Service Premier Address will be held. Dr. Treesna, welcome back to What Matters.
Thank you, Anil.
Now, like what I mentioned earlier, we have people who are listening to this interview, and those who are in the public service might be very excited, but we have common people who are not part of the public service infrastructure, the workforce, the force, right? The administration as well as the workforce. Your message to the general public on why should Mappa matter?
Right, so this is a great question from you, Anil. Thank you. So
okay.
Mappa isn't just about the civil service. It is about the civil service, but it isn't just about the civil service. It's about the direction of our nation through public service delivery. The PM's address and the things that are going to be discussed about and talked about at Mappa, the initiatives and the policies that will be talked about during Mappa will ultimately affect every Malaysian citizens, because they are the window into how the government is working towards improving public service delivery. Thus, by extension, the quality of life for all Malaysians. That's why it's a very important day for not just civil servants, but also public at large,
Right.
basically.
So one thing that's oftentimes overlooked is that people who are at the civil service in the front line, the public expect them to hear the public. So the public demand that you in the civil service, you're sitting at the front line, you got to hear me out. But it works both ways too. People working in the public service need to be heard as well, because they're the ones who are working tirelessly. You know, police officers, they're awake, keeping the city safe when we're out sleeping, you know, when we're taking our nap. Ambulance drivers, making sure that they reach the, accident scene on time. Men and women from the fire and rescue department, so on and so forth. They're working tirelessly. They got families too, just like us, right? Your final message, Dr. Treesna, before I let you go.
So it's been a pleasure discussing about Mappa with you this morning, as well as I hope the listeners have benefited, if not some, a lot from this discussion. So I'd like to extend also an invitation to everyone, both civil servants as well as members of the public, to stay updated on all Mappa related information. And the easiest way to do this is by following Intan on our social media platforms. So we are active on Facebook with Institut Takbiran Awam Negara, that's our Facebook, Instagram at Intan Bukit Kiara, and TikTok at intan.Bukit Kiara, and we post daily updates, behind the scenes content, and important announcements regarding not just Mappa but also all the activities and programs that we implement every day of the week. And for those who prefer more traditional method, they can also visit us at www.intanbk.intan.my for more comprehensive information.
All right. Dr. Treesna Nadira Johar, thank you very much for setting aside your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
DJ Anil, I really appreciate it.
Of course, the pleasure is ours, and we look forward to maybe having you back in the studio to let us know
It's such a
how the
exciting day for me actually as well.
How the celebration on August the 16th goes.
Yeah.
And I must say, it's a very enlightening conversation now that we know that we're reminded again of an organization like Intan, which is leading the way to raise the standards for the public service administration in the country. We see the frontliners, but what we don't see is people who are sitting in strategic offices thinking of how we can spearhead the country towards development and becoming the Asian tiger that we once were, that we are striving towards becoming, which is what our Prime Minister is also propagating. And I'm sure he'll be speaking about that as well on Saturday when he gives his address.
Friday, actually.
On Friday, right.
Friday.
Okay. So that's it. If you missed out on any part of this interview on What Matters, worry not. You can always catch the replay. Our producer Rose has been on the remix streaming it. You can catch it via Facebook and also our official YouTube stream as well. Yeah. Also a big shout out to producer Azrul as well as producer Zam joining me in the studios in this discussion. Everybody else, you have a great day, but don't touch that dial yet, because coming up we've got the news at 12, and then I'll be seeing you for the third hour of Tracks Momentum. Leaving you at this one, Somewhere Only We Know, another song request by Dr. Treesna. What a way to let her go for the day. You have a lovely day.
Thank you so much.